let's dive into that a little bit. So when you first started roasting, and I say this on most podcasts, I want to know what the most difficult lessons you learned starting out into roasting. I know you said you had that fantasy of doing this, and then once you take that step and you go after it, what was the hardest lessons you learned starting out?
To me, that wasn't the hardest. The hardest to me was this weird thing I do. This is me. I don't know if it's other people. Maybe it is, but it's like when I'm a jarhead about a subject and I find somebody that I like who's teaching that or mentoring or whatever, and they've sold me this idea of what they are saying, their theory, whatever. But then you know how they say like don't meet your heroes?
Right, right, yeah.
Don't meet your heroes. And then you're like, wait, but you said it should be this way or it is this way and no other way is like that's what I perceived. That's what I took it in as. And the message
Right.
was so like this is the law. And when I found
Mhm.
out it wasn't the law, I was like, "Oh, why'd you say it like that then?"
Right,
Like
right.
I
Yeah, that
don't
makes
like
sense.
feeling duped. I don't like feeling being
Right.
taken advantage of because I'm naive in a subject and that's what I felt like in the content that I make. I don't want to do that to somebody else. Like I don't want you to think it has to be this way. There is
Right.
room for your way. There are
Okay.
rules. Cool. Generally, that ROR line goes down. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. But to be like so dogmatic about the graph and the literature and things like that, I was sort of let down by that. And I've done that before in other areas of my life when I was young, and it was just reminded me of like, don't be naive, man. Like, stop
Right.
being naive. It's a personal thing for me. Like, it's something that I'm working on personally. So in the content that I make, I'm very I try to be not so purist about things, even though like there's a reason that kind of literature spoke to me because I know that's how I am. Like naturally, I'm like I want it to be a certain way, and I
Right,
can
right.
be that way with myself and like how I serve myself coffee and like that's a whole thing too. Like what are you serving yourself? But like when I'm serving others, I want it to be open. I don't want it to feel like I'm duping people. I want to empower people to go, okay, cool, that's what it is. Those are that's the standard or whatever, but it doesn't have to be my standard. I
Right.
can find my own way. And I think that makes sense because that's exactly what I've done. So I like to just that was the biggest sort of not let down. It's just my own um how naive I was and how I
Right.
can be naive and I don't that's something again like I was saying I'm working on that.